it, isn't it?
Perfect.
In ends. I think it's got an end on it.
Drums.
Yeah.
It's all beautiful, and then there's a really cheap crash cymbal at the end. Ka-ching. No, that was good, man.
That was good, yeah.
Well,
it's clever.
Welcome back to Andertons TV.
Hello.
And our demonstration of the new Spark 2 amplifier from Positive Grid. And I'm excited.
Yeah. Jinx, you want me a Coke? What does that say on that little, see that box there?
We're using lots of stuff today.
Can you see what it says on the back on it?
Plug in, break free, like and subscribe, escape the clutter, and win a Klon pedal when we get to 1 million subscribers.
That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Right, let me get this thing up here. We're going to plug this in towards the end of the demo and try and sort of compare. But this was the amp that kind of started it all, right? So the original Spark, amazing little home use amplifier with an incredible app, and we sold thousands of these. I'm sure Positive Grid sold millions.
Millions?
And this kind of like Spark world, whatever you want to call it, we've seen Mini, Go, Live. There's other products that we've seen in the pipeline that we can't tell you about. We can tell you about this though, look. How cool is that?
Isn't it? And it's so Steve Vai, isn't it?
Steve Vai has done a version of the Mini with his own presets on
it,
which is cool. Did you get a cable with it?
Yeah, you get a Steve Vai cable.
Anyway, we're not plugging that in today. Steve Vai has done an amazing demo of this. Go watch that. But yeah, I guess the flagship of the range has always been the Spark, the original Spark, and now we have Spark 2, and it's got loads of cool new features in it. Yeah. Shall I read them out to you?
Yes, please. Please do. We can put them on screen as you read them as well.
So here we are. It has double the processing power of Spark 1. It's 25% louder.
There's 50 watts now, not 40.
Exactly. Is that 25%? It is.
It is.
It has 2 loopers, simple or with all new drums.
Yeah.
HD amp models powered tone. HD amp models powered tone. I don't know what that means, but it means they're better. 12-hour optional battery power, which the old one couldn't do, right?
Yeah. And we're running on battery here as well now.
So a lot of the new Spark products, Spark Live, things like that now have a rechargeable battery that you can buy for them. This is now compatible with that. We've got some new bass stuff on here, and in the app we now have a new, which is crazy, right? Everyone's been talking about this, an AI tone section. Yes, everybody, ChatGPT has entered the world of guitar tone. As we now just ask the app to make us guitar sounds. And we've got some new artist signature tones from none other than Zakk Wylde, Paul Gilbert, Nuno Bettencourt, Jeff Loomis, Jake Bowden, and soon Peter Honore. Maybe. I don't know if that deal can be agreed.
Yeah, good. I'm in that group of people.
We are using today, this is all optional extra, just other Spark stuff. So we're both using wireless, so transmitter, receiver, dead easy.
You can go to the beach with this thing. As with the battery and everything.
Yeah.
Just that's it.
So many optional extras.
Yeah.
We've got
isn't it?
bags that we can now carry around with this. We've got foot switches here.
Bluetooth.
Man alive. So for a long time, we've been told by manufacturers that you can't use a Bluetooth foot switch for looping.
And this is what I just did in the beginning.
Yeah, because the lag between pressing the button and Bluetooth sending the signal and da-da-da-da. Those clever people at Positive Grid.
They've worked it out.
We are now looping using a Bluetooth foot switch to stop the loop.
And these are cool as well because you can use this as, let's say, switch between presets or as the looper. You can put these down here, write on with a little magic marker your name, maybe draw a little willy. I'll probably do that.
I think you probably would. Yeah. Or maybe even draw 6 of them, different size ones, depending on...
That's another preset.
Right, now we might need to just rejig here. That first jam that you heard, we are actually both using the left and right outputs. There's another feature that Spark 1 didn't have, right? Is
that's cool, man.
Proper left and right DI outputs. So what we decided for that opening jam was to just go straight into our interface using the line outputs rather than miking up. But I know you're going to want to hear it mic'd up, so that's what we're going to do for the next part of the demo.
Yeah.
And Pete's going to take control of guitar playing. I'm going to screen record what I'm doing on the app, and you're going to see it all. Here we go. Boosh!
There you go.
Look at that. What we even did in the intermission was take the grill off the front of this, which exposed 2 new features as well, which we didn't even know about. One is the speakers are now angled slightly outwards to just accentuate that sort of stereo goodness. And secondly, they've changed the bass port, which has cured some of that perhaps excessive unwanted bass end that we mentioned when we did the very first Spark one. Not unwanted, but unnatural sort of bass end.
Yeah.
Right, okay, look, we're looking at the app now. I'm going to whiz through this because actually a lot of this Spark app hasn't changed from the first time round. So
this is more about the sound really now, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So very quickly, here's my 8 basic presets that I can access from the Footswitch or from, you know, from this knob over on the left here where I've got my 4 different presets, 4 in red, 4 in green. So there's 4 here, another 4 here. Boom. So if I tap one, it brings up, and this is what everyone loves about Spark. It couldn't be any more graphically intuitive if it tried. So here's our first one. Let's have a little listen, Mr. Pete.
Definitely lost that low end, that unnatural, not unnatural, but that too low end.
Yeah. The old one
comes out of these little.
The Spark one, actually, Spark one, in fairness, had a firmware upgrade through it, which I think went some way towards curing it as well. But I just think it was just the way the cabinet was ported, just had too much bass end for what a normal guitar amplifier would have. This is nailed on. Anyway, look, so you can see at the moment the amplifier is the main part of the screen here. If I press one of the other pedals across the top here, I can fill up the screen with those. The amplifier, again, it's pretty small on a phone, but I guess you can see this because we're using it on the screen. So if I adjust, say, the treble on the amplifier, you'll see the treble on the app changes. Or I can put my finger over the treble on the app and change it like that. That's how everything works on the app. It's really, really cool.
Super simple. That sounds great, man.
In the pedal chain, where the pedal is illuminated, it means it's on. Where the pedal is darkened, it means it's off. So maybe I want to add my drive pedal. And what's my favorite thing on this app is if I want to turn the drive pedal on, I, of course, hit the switch. And if I want to change anything in this change, say I want to change the guitar amplifier, I want to change the drive pedal or anything else like that, I simply tap on the icon in the chain and I look down this great big list of other things that I can use. Now this, in fairness, and that's why we're not going to spend too much time on this, that's essentially the concept of the Spark world, if you like. So any Spark amp, I really like the way the guy from Positive Grid kind of went, the app is largely the same regardless of which product you decide to buy into, and all you need to choose is what environment do you need to play it in. Do you want something you can take to the beach that's like like the size of a phone? Do you want something you could maybe have a bit of a jam with? Do you want something you could busk with? You know, that's you just you choose it and then boom, you're using essentially the same.
And can we also just point out how easy it is to connect these things? Connect the Footswitch and connect the phone. You just open your phone up, and you turn this on and it comes up and you say, do you want to connect? Boom. It's not like...
You know what is amazing? And I think this is how this sort of Bluetooth and wireless connectivity is changing. Up until fairly recently, I think the assumption was with this is you're the only person in the room who's trying to connect to this amplifier and jam. And so you never really ended up getting confused with multiple Bluetooth devices.
No, there's only one.
Yeah, the last year or so, as particularly Pete and I are trying to, let's jam and you have one and I'll have one. You get all this stuff where it gets confused and think Pete's connected to my amp and my app's connected to
because they're called the same thing. Yeah. You can rename yours in here, so you can rename whatever yours is called.
Yeah, not only is it super easy to see what you're connected to, but once you own your Spark device, it
remembers it.
So I'm called, this is Lee's Spark, this is Pete's Spark, and now I know I'm never going to connect to the wrong one. Anyway, I want to just very quickly go through some of these presets. I'm not going to edit these, just going to so that you heard the rhythm guitar one. Here's something a bit heavier. What's the next one? Solo guitar style tone. Ambient guitar style tone.
Ambience in the room. I feel like I want to do like a little table.
I genuinely feel like, in a way, it is almost worth going through some of the tones a bit more here, because even though the app feels very familiar from Spark 1, it all sounds better.
It does sound better. It does. Yeah.
Well, let's just do another 4 tones here. You know, we got another orange amp clone thingy here.
A bit cleaner. A little bit bluesy.
What have we got here? Oh, they love their orange amplifiers here, don't they? More Rocker 5. What have we got here? We got some 5150 goodness coming.
That's great, man.
It really does.
Yeah.
And then lastly, you'll like this bit cleaner with some ambient stuff on it.
Oh. Shouldn't joke about that.
And again, just so that I'm not going to go through these, but look at all these different kinds of reverb pedals you can have, different kinds of delay pedals you can have, different types of modulation and EQ pedals. We didn't talk about all the different amps. It's absolutely amazing.
Am I right saying you can also buy, there's a Jimi Hendrix stuff that you can buy, which of course is licensed by... Yeah,
so the only ones you have to pay for are the Jimi Hendrix ones. But that's not Positive Grid trying to make some dime out of you. That goes to a charitable foundation, the Hendrix Foundation, so the money goes to that, which is cool, right? Just showing the Footswitch, its kind of default mode now is enabling me to switch between the 4 sounds that are in the A bank and then essentially the 4 sounds that are in the B bank. You've got an icon on the phone here, that little folder with the number 1 that allows me to change the functionality of all of these buttons here so that we might decide we want to turn off individual effects or set it up to use with the looper. Lots of different functionality here. That's very cool. That's very
super
cool.
But that doesn't come with that. That's an extra.
What he said.
Just so you know.
So let's dive off into the cloud now. So this is where all of our, you can create your own patches and upload to your own account in the cloud. So you can have millions and millions of your own patches.
We should make some, Lee.
I totally agree.
We should.
You've got obviously other just users. You might have a friend that's got a Spark amplifier and that's how you would share your favorite sounds. But of course, I'm guessing the stuff that people download the most are the artist presets. So we've got Zakk Wylde, Paul Gilbert.
John Mayer.
I mentioned this at the beginning. I don't know if John's done any. How many of those would he get downloaded? So do you want Mama, I'm Coming Home Zakk Wylde sound? Let's have a little look.
You're putting me on the spot there because I don't know any Zakk Wylde songs, and everybody out there is like, you can't
so
play
if
that
I
song.
save this
I know
now,
that song, I can play it.
Oh, there we are. We've got it.
I don't know the song, but it sounds great.
It does sound great, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know these songs either, but I'm just basically, here we go. This is a Paul Gilbert one.
Do you think
I've got to find the Nuno ones.
Do you think Zakk Wylde will go back to his mum to wash his clothes? I think
possibly,
so. That's maybe
possibly.
That's what his song is about. I can't do any new
Can you
note.
not just play Flight of the Bumblebee really well? Like, immediately do it now. Anyway, look, you can see loads and
That
loads of
sounds
stuff
great.
here.
Just keep it on that. It's got the thing where that video they did in the garage where he opens the gun. Anyway, he's amazing.
I don't have
hero.
anything saved in my version of this app yet, but what's pretty cool, so you can see across the top here where I can save my favorites. I can choose to follow certain artists. And then what's very cool, especially if you're not familiar with how to set up good guitar sounds, they've done it all genre specific. So if you're looking for sounds for blues or metal, again, it's all divided up for you. So that's the Cloud.
Are they free, these presets
free.
for the... that's good.
All free.
So if you want to play like Nuno.
What else do these little dots do? Okay, so that's where I might want to save these sounds if I was to adjust them. But the next thing we're going to do is move over, and I think this is now we're getting into the world of loops and AI and all that kind of cool stuff. Okay, so right at the top is a beautiful big picture of Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah, legend.
Yes, absolutely. The father of modern rock guitar,
Blues,
probably.
rock, yeah.
Anyway, so then you got some nice, interesting. You got some videos and some articles about Jimi Hendrix. You got some jam along stuff that you can do, and then you've got all his kind of gear that he was famous for using. It tells you a little bit about that, and you can download again sort of the digital recreations of that gear. Simple Looper is effectively a simple looper, which you can use either by stopping it from the phone, stopping it from the front of the amplifier, or you can buy the optional extra foot switch on the floor here. Mm-hmm. And it does have, because you'd normally be going, how can I start it and then play at the same time? It's difficult if you haven't got the foot switch. But
you can choose 1 bar. I can't remember how many bars you can choose up to, how long you need the loop to be. You can choose to be free mode. You can choose to have a count in. You can choose that to be straight or shuffled as it counts in. You know shuffle, right?
You can up to 16 bars if you want.
16 bars. Yeah. That's a long. If you can loop 16 bars in tempo in time, I mean, you do get. The good thing about this is that you get the click all the way through the 16 bars, so that's pretty good.
So Simple Loop, Simple Loop is possible to do if you just have it in its automatic start recording mode.
You can tap the tempo here, you can tap the tempo there, you can tap the tempo there.
Groove Looper, same thing, but now with drums, which is what we did use at the beginning.
Yeah, good drums.
Smart Jam. This is where you start getting... I mean, the Smart Jam is on Spark 1, isn't it? That's not one of the new things.
We did that in the previous video.
Smart Jam is... Maybe we should do this. So this is where literally Pete would just play the chords in at the tempo that he wants it to be.
I'll do it simply.
It would come up with a bass line and a drum track to go with that. So we're going to jam with Dave. Dave's got a good-looking beard. Let's jam. So we got to tap it in. So we get 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Start.
Yeah, I get a count
in. Right? Yeah.
2.
So there we are. It's got enough of those chords to work out what Pete wants to jam along to. So Dave is just working it out. Here it comes. Let's jam. Look at that. Now, let me just turn this down a second here. Right, now you might be thinking, well, that's not anything special. But look, the chords, it's literally going, it knows, it's worked out that Pete has played in the D and the A.
And the G.
And the G.
Yeah.
But it's got even more interesting than that. So it's decided for your verse, it's going to stick to your D, A, G thing. It's then decided on its own that the chorus is going to mix those chords up a bit, still saying with A and G. And it's got a bridge as well.
Really?
Yeah.
So you look at that and I play along with it. See, I can't read that. Not a close. So that's more like having a band with you, you know. That's cool, man. That is cool.
It was one of the features I think sort of we thought was pretty clever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously aimed at a beginner guitar player that's trying to get into it rather than necessarily anyone trying to do anything crazy complex. But it was very cool. And then we've got these quick jam ideas, which is fundamentally the same kind of thing as Smart Jam, except that you don't need to play the chords in. It's just going to go, here are some things that you can jam along to. It's a bit like a backing track, I suppose, but it's just generated. So choose your pop, rock,
Is that
funk,
the one you
blues.
can search? Is there a search bar there for that? So you can search.
So it tells you then.
What key you're in? Just tell me what key you're in.
So you're in C. So it shows you what the chords are at the top, it shows you the sequence of chords, and if you use this little menu at the side, you can change the tempo, you can elect to have the bass on or off, or you can transpose it. So if you don't want to be in C and you want to do in D or whatever, you just transpose it up.
Super cool, isn't it?
And again, you don't have to do blues, you can do... You've got loads of different progressions within each of those genres of music. Okay, I sort of feel like everything we've just shown you there, you can do on all the Spark products. That's not a Spark 2 thing. However, sorry, it's not exclusive to Spark 2.
No,
this next bit gets a bit funky. Now we're going into the world of AI. Okay, so we've never done this before, so who knows how this will come out. But this little bar at the bottom is for me to type in whatever I want this to try and recreate as a sound. Yeah, that kind of. Now, again, if you're thinking, oh God, I don't even know any artists that I want to try and copy, some of these other blocks here are kind of effectively sort of, if there is such a thing, it's like preset AI. So it's like it's going to go and ask them for a sound that is poppy or metal or whatever. But we're going to go for this here. Okay, Mr. Pete,
Yes, Mr. Lee.
What would you like me to search for?
Well, it has to be John Mayer. Slow dancing in a burning room.
You want to do slow dancing or you want to do
slow dancing?
Slow
it's
dancing?
the one that everybody plays in the shop.
Slow dancing.
I thought the other day, can you imagine you go into the shop and you hear somebody play slow dancing in a burning room and you go, oh no, somebody's playing slow dancing again.
Room.
And then you go in the corner and you say, can you please stop that? And you open the door and it's actually John Mayer sitting in there.
Right.
Can you imagine?
Well, let's give it a second. It's thinking about it.
You didn't hear what I'm saying?
I know, well, I can't concentrate on two things at once.
Look at that.
You were saying if you go into the shop and someone's playing slow dancing in a burning room, and then what did you say?
And you open the door up and it's actually John Mayer sitting in there. You go in to actually tell him
that happened to me
it.
the other day with Mike Kerr from Royal Blood. I heard somebody playing, and I went and.
But you didn't go over and go, oh,
him.
stop playing slow dancing. That's what I mean.
Right, so it has given me 4 sounds. They're all using a matchless amplifier, which obviously I don't think John has ever used. But let's see. Look, this is caveat this. This is the beta version of AI, and of course the whole point of AI is it learns over time. So let's see. So I press this. I've got the choice here to either download that into my library. Or like or dislike it. So I guess the more I like and dislike things, the more it'll refine it. But there we got 4. Let's see what the first one sounds like.
I like the sound.
So shall I say I don't
little,
like this one?
Well, it's not that sound.
No,
I wouldn't say it's slow dancing.
So
but it's a good
say
sound.
I don't. The next one that it suggested.
I think it's just a little bit too driven.
Too driven. Bit too much reverb on this one. Let's try the 4th one.
Take the drive down a bit. Can you change the sound?
What I have... If I download it, and I've got to put it into a genre, I'm going to put it into the blues genre.
So how
pop
about...
or blues. So I save this. Now if I go back into my folders and try and find it, blues, generated preset, here it is. Okay, so now what I can do is turn the drive off. What does it sound like now?
Yeah, it's definitely not that. It's closer.
It's closer.
But I don't think there's any delay on it.
I can turn the delay off.
Look. Oh, it's a really.
I mean, in all
it's
fairness,
a big,
I'm fairly sure John Mayer had about £2 million worth of equipment when he recorded that track, as opposed to a Spark 2.
It's a two-rog, wasn't it? It's a two-rog on that one, I think. Also, I'm not playing Silver Sky.
It's
Sounds all right, man.
We're not a million miles away. So I think that fourth one there, we are going to basically give that the thumbs up.
Yeah.
And then it'll learn. Oh, look. And then it's kind of like, as soon as you give that the thumbs up, it loads you up some more stuff that says you might like these as well.
Oh, really?
So it's learning literally in real time.
I like the
Can
sound.
you imagine, once there's 10,000 guitar players out here, and obviously,
so
5,000 of them will be nailing their John Mayer tones like that. This will work it out sooner or later.
Absolutely.
Another band then, please, Mr. Pete.
AC/DC.
AC/DC.
ADHD. Lee.
Which song? Back in Black?
Yeah, anything.
Back in Black. Let's see what happens here. AC/DC Back in Black. Search. Give it a minute.
Dancing.
Give it a minute. It believes that AC/DC's Black in Black should either be JTM 45s with a load of pedals, or I don't even know what that amplifier is down the bottom there, but let's have a little look. Here we go.
First one.
I'm just going to try. Yeah, the first one we're going to say we like that. That was pretty good, and then it gives us some more that it says these are similar. Here we go. Look, I mean. We have
so the first one, you have to nail one first, and then you like that one, and then it gives you more options afterwards.
And I think you've got to keep in context who this amplifier is for. So this isn't for Angus Young to go, great, I'll record the next AC/DC album. This is for somebody who's got a sort of a relatively sort of new understanding of guitar tones and pedals and all this kind of stuff, and would just go, I wouldn't, if I'd only just started.
How do I sound like that?
Yeah, I mean, if somebody said to me even now, and let's say I wanted to learn. Not that I would necessarily, but let's say I wanted to learn a Polyphia song or something like that. I wouldn't have a clue what. So I think it's quite cool that you just type in here and it gives you some things.
Sounds like videos are gone now. No more sounds like videos.
Just type AI, it in there. Isn't it? So look, we're moving on. That's the AI section, and in the words of D-Ream, things can only get better. Or worse, depending on your outlook on things like artificial intelligence. Right, the next icon is this video camera. Okay, look, I've no idea what's going to happen to my screen recording now. Yeah, screen recording doesn't work now, so I switched that off. Okay, so if I press the camera button, which is the next one along, that now activates the camera in your phone, and you can literally record yourself playing along using a sound from here and then upload it here.
That's clever.
You did have
I did have a thing because I was just fiddling around earlier. If you go back to the section where all the intelligent jam stuff is, if you search on, say, Andertons jam tracks, guitar jam tracks,
it's crazy.
So you go up in the corner
so
there.
We're back onto the music section with the, and then I'm using the magnifying glass. You can see where we've done this before. So we go Anderton's backing track. So we got all,
cool.
Go on. And then
it doesn't matter. Anyone, man.
So these are all. It's picked up a load of videos from YouTube here of Anderton's backing tracks. So let's find this Holding the Groove in A minor. So just turn this down a little bit. This is insane, right? In real time, it's found.
Turn up a little bit so we can hear. That's it.
It's found that video on YouTube.
Yeah, which is obviously they're all on YouTube, all the jam tracks. So if you want to check it out.
On these particular videos, there is no actual video to go with it. It's just this thumbnail of the Volume 4 thing. But obviously, if there was video, it would be playing that at the same time at the top, right? Mm-hmm. It's working out what the chords are. showing you what the chords are in terms of diagrams. If that in itself is, I don't know, maybe you want a different view of that. You've got this menu up in the top here. It'll give you a view.
Like a whole sheet.
Yeah, a whole sheet, which is crazy because how does it know what the chords are?
But it analyzes.
That you haven't even.
It just analyzes the whole song.
In like 3 seconds.
Absolutely. That's AI, man. And I tell you what, so people are asked, where are the chord sheets for this stuff? All the jam tracks. They always, people ask me, have you got sheets? Just get one of these. They'll do it for you.
Are they accurate chords, or is it just playing the sort of the major, minor position chords?
They are very super simple chords anyway. But
I mean, what's clever as well within here, I know you can take a section of the music and loop it round and round and round. You can adjust the speed. The capo button seems to suggest whether you need a capo to play this rather than being some sort of virtual capo. There's the tone thing here. If I press this, I think the idea is if you write a nice tone to jam over this track and then upload it, the next person that tries to jam along that will be suggested.
Can go, I can take that tone.
It's just.
Maybe I should do that to some of the jam tracks. I should make the sounds there, shouldn't I?
I just don't understand where.
They'll be all the same.
I mean, technology is just lunatic now, isn't it?
Yeah, that is crazy. But that's if you've got one of these and you're playing with the jam tracks, just do that, man. You get the chords.
I mean, I can't.
But you can play pentatonic over all of it.
I sort of sit, and I know when we've tried to do some reasonably sort of objective comparisons between Spark and Katana and THR and all that kind of stuff. And I guess tonally speaking, when we've done those in before, Spark has probably come out as it's good, but maybe the Boss one is good as well, and there's all different. I think this Spark 2 now, it's like a massive hand grenade. It's like the app has always been streets ahead of everyone else's app.
I agree.
And now the amp sounds like...
Next step.
Yeah, like next level up as well. And what's even more crazy as well, although the price of the amp has gone up a tiny bit from Spark 1, it hasn't gone up anything like as much as I thought it might. Still sub £300 for this amplifier.
Really?
So it's still cheaper than THR, cheaper than Katana. It's like... I genuinely.
If you want, like some of them that come with wireless things, you can just buy this. This is great. It does that. Look, it does that. It does that.
I really,
You're gobsmacked a little bit.
Well, I am in the sense of it's just a lot. Where does it end? Like on the one hand, the next video that Pete and I might do, we'll probably just take a fuzz pedal and go, it's dearer than this. It's
like this. The pedals are dearer than this. You can get a Strymon Big Sky or H90. They are £1,000.
It's just.
I mean, it's not. These are not. I would say, okay, it's not professionally musicians that use this professional, right? We can agree on that.
Yep.
But if you're sitting at home and you've got, if you just want something to inspire you and easy with the looping and everything, man, can I get a sound like Jimi Hendrix? Click. Boom, there it is. It's not like you have to, it's just all there. It's insane.
I think you're right as well. And
it's only going to get better.
That's the point I was just going to make. You look at how AI and ChatGPT has kind of moved on in the workplace just in the last year.
Yeah, for copywriting and all that different stuff.
And you just go, well, I bet you're not even probably talking months, just talking weeks, aren't you now, until this starts going, John Mayer Continuum Tone, boom, there it is, straight off the album.
Yeah, once it starts getting out to people. Yeah.
Anyway, you would be forgiven for thinking that Spark 1 was going to be discontinued and replaced by Spark 2. But actually, Spark 1's going to have a weeny little sort of price adjustment, maybe downwards slightly, and it's just going to sit in the catalogue alongside it. So there you go. At least for the time being, you can either go, do you know what? Spark 1, good enough for me, and it's a little bit cheaper.
Put it next to it so we can just see the size differences as well here. I just want to see the difference in sizes, because I think it's quite a little bit bigger, right? See that?
Oh yes, the Spark 2 is a little bit, about the same width, but a little bit taller.
I like the little metal bar there so you can see what it is, for blind people like me as well. Anyway, that's it. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.
Right. We've deliberated how best to compare Spark 2 with Spark 1, and actually the good news is I've actually been through, if you go through all the presets, although there are a load that are different on the two amplifiers. There actually are about, I don't know, 10 that are the same, which is great. So what we've done is we've set up an AB box on the floor. One side is going into the one, the other side into the two, and all I'm going to do on here is basically choose presets that are the same. I'll tell you what they are, and then we just play through, right? Same guitar, same mic, same everything, so hopefully you will be able to hear the difference. Right, okay. So we're
Lee
going
and his
in...
burner phone.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going in gained up here. So this first patch is called Iron Hammer, and as I said, it's the same patch on each one. Green light, sorry, is 2, isn't it? So
you know, that was my nickname in my 20s.
Iron Hammer?
Yeah. Okay. Go back. Okay, right.
Yeah. Next one, right. Going to go much cleaner now. Dancing in the room. If only I'd known this was here earlier, we wouldn't need to use the AI. Do it again.
Okay.
Do you know what I think is difficult? I think because I'm sitting in the wrong position, so maybe I'm just guessing this.
Me too. Yeah.
I think those speakers being slightly angled out is changing, so that the Spark 1 where the speakers are facing forward is seemingly giving like a more like a present direct tone, whereas Spark 2 with the speakers out is seemingly, it's almost like my brain is finding it harder to place where the amp is.
Yes, I agree.
And I think I can't decide if I like that more or less. Like almost like it's more enveloping, whereas this one feels like, oh, that's where the amp is. It's just strange, you know. Be interesting to see. You might not get that with the way we've close mic'd it. Right, let's just try another one. Royal Crown back to...
It's just like, I think maybe that bass port in the front also gives it more low end out towards where this might have thrown a different direction, right?
And I think when you've got a heavy stereo effect like we've got now, it does almost feel like it's accentuating the stereo-ness by pointing the speakers out slightly. Again, I don't know what these are going to sound like. This is a wooden bridge sound through the...
Go back to the other one again, because that sounds much better.
Much better that time.
Preset, absolutely.
So if I remember rightly, going right back to what we said at the beginning of the video, the amp models should be better sounding
because it's got more processing power
on the two. Stonebreaker.
Again, I think that sounds better.
Yep, I agree. And then lastly, Blues Arc. very similar. Right.
Yeah, it's a bit brighter, a bit more. I mean, you would expect them to be different, right?
I guess what I don't think here, and I'm a little bit surprised about this, I think I was expecting Spark 2 to wipe the floor with Spark 1 at the end, tonally, and I'm sort of, or at least feel like it was much more definitive of this is better, this is worse.
Yeah.
I'm kind of almost feeling there definitely were a couple of patches where I felt this sounded better. There was a couple where you go and they sound much the same. There's maybe even the odd patch where you go, maybe that one was the one that you preferred.
Why don't you comment in the comment section what you think?
We are just using presets here.
Yeah.
I think I probably have slightly altered my perception of, you know, I think I'd be leaning towards buying Spark 2 now, really predominantly if you want the extra features it has, rather than necessarily just assuming it's a better sounding amplifier.
I think it sounds better.
Yeah.
From these presets, I personally think they all sounded better. But yes, similar. But I think it is a level up, but you would expect that.
Yeah. It's funny, even little things like it never bothered me before, the knobs and the panel and the preset buttons, but now I've seen the nicer looking ones on.
Yeah, but the panel is much nicer.
Like, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't know. Look at
with
this
the
one
loop on the top, and this little switch is the on-off button. USB-C outputs. I mean, features-wise,
100%, 100%. And actually, given that it's not a gigantic price difference to go to Spark 2 from Spark 1, I think almost the features alone justify it. And then everything else is like, well, if you think it sounds better as well, it's definitely a bit louder. The rechargeable battery side of things.
Yeah. So, I think it's worth an upgrade as well.
Yeah,
if you were looking
if you
to
had Spark 1, you'd upgrade Spark 2. Yeah, well, I mean, look, we're really talking about.
It's up to you guys. What do you think? It's not what we. Who cares what we think, Lee?
Well, it was an interesting little comparison at the end, and worth doing because, in a way, I think it justifies not discontinuing Spark 1. That's still a lot of. I mean, that's now even cheaper than it ever has been before. So that's a lot of amp for what it is. Yeah, I kind of feel it's sort of negated the need for a jam out here.
It's long
You've
video
heard
now.
the two. Yeah, long video. I'm sure you guys have got things to do, like go and order a Spark 2, for example.
Yeah, links are below for that.
Yes, great segue.
And a looper and a battery. You need to.
We'll make sure all of the optional extras for all the Spark products are kind of in on our listings. Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, thank you so much for this. Always interested to read your comments about which you prefer. I know which one you prefer already. It'll be the one that you bought. Yeah. So, but there we go. I like it. Well done, Positive Grid, for pushing things forwards. AI, man, it's a scary future out there. Who knows if you're even watching the real me and Pete.